Moody's Ratings has downgraded the U.S. credit rating one notch from a perfect AAA to AA1, citing a significant rise in the government's debt and interest payment ratios.
국제신용평가사 무디스가 미국의 국가신용등급을 최고등급인 AAA에서 Aa1'으로 한 단계 하향 조정하면서 정부 부채 비율과 이자지급 비율이 크게 증가한 점을 이유로 들었습니다. I have to admit, in Korean, we probably just say AAA and then AA1.
Right.
But I did it the English way because it is in the English headline. Tell us more, though.
Yeah, so of course, Standard & Poor's, Fitch Ratings, and Moody's are the big three credit ratings agencies. But Moody's is the last one to downgrade the U.S. credit rating. Like the headline suggests, the reason for that is there's a big increase in U.S. government debt and interest payment ratios. Things like the debt to GDP ratio over the past decade have fallen. So it's not an indication of more recent events, but an overall sort of glance or look at forecast of where the U.S. stands at this point. Now, going back, if you want to see what these ratings agencies do, they're sort of independent evaluators, right, of the credit. Like individuals, we have credit ratings, right? But countries also have credit ratings, and they assess things like how much they can borrow, repaying debt, and they provide ratings that include borrowing costs, investment decisions, and regulatory requirements. So it really is an indication of just where the U.S. right now stands at this point. So not a good outlook for the U.S. Economy at this point.
Exactly. Different ratings agencies have slightly different ratings on the way they rate it. So in general, we have, the AAA, AA, A, and then what is it?
It goes, there's a big scale there.
Yeah, exactly.
S&P and Fitch already downgraded the U.S., so Moody's is in fact the last agency to downgrade the U.S. Rating at this point.
아, 그렇군요. 자, 그래요. 이게 무디스가 최고 등급인 AAA에서 하나 내린 AA1으로 미국의 신용 등급을 하향 조정했습니다. 자, 근데 이제 영어로 쓸 때는요. A 3개를 쓰는 게 맞지만 우리가 읽을 때는 AAA라고 읽기 때문에 이게 또 우리가 방송을 할 때는 읽는 것도 중요하잖아요. 그래서 저희가 보이시는 분들은 자막에다가는 AAA라고 이렇게 썼어요. 그러나 이제 실제로 무디스가 triple이라는 단어를 이렇게 적는 게 아니라 triple 이런 단어를 쓰지는 않고 그냥 AAA 이렇게 쓰죠. 실제로 이제 글씨로는. But you have to say AAA and AA or whatever it is.
Well, that is the common way to say it.
Yes.
You could say AAA, but it's just two
좀
words.
어색해요. 네, 그냥. And if you downgrade something one notch, what are you doing?
Yeah, so if you downgrade something, you're lowering the grade, literally. So you're devaluing it, you're reducing it. And a notch would be a sort of classification. It's a level, a rung, R-U-N-G, on a scale or a degree. So if something's downgraded, that means it's lowering its classification.
그렇죠. 하향 조정하는 것을 downgrading. So the opposite would be upgrading?
Upgrading, of course. Yeah, you can upgrade your car.
Your phone.
Your phone. A lot of people upgrade their phones. So it's the opposite of that.
Okay. One notch는 한 단계 같은 거거든요. 여기서는 한 등급이 되겠죠. N-O-T-C-H. And it's very significant. Well, this is significant, and there's also been a significant rise in government debt.
Yes.
And so on.
Right. So, the U.S. Trump administration, a big part of their plan is to lower government spending and the national debt. So it's significant right now, the amount of debt that the U.S. has, meaning it's very considerable. It's very serious in a way. It's critical. It's at a critical point.
So as an adjective, something significant means 상당하다, 아주 크다. So a significant rise would be 많이 올린 것 in the government's debt. 그러니까 정부의 부채가 상당히 많이 올랐다. 이렇게 볼 수 있겠죠.
Yeah, I would say the opposite might be negligible if something's not as significant.
Okay,
right?
okay.
Possibly.
Got it. 자, 그러면 다시 한번 제가 읽어보겠습니다. Moody's Ratings has downgraded the U.S. credit rating one notch from a perfect AAA to Aa1, citing a significant rise in the government's debt and interest payment ratios. Now let's move on to the next headline.
An expert in the UK has suggested that turning the shower cold for 30 seconds at the end of showers can boost metabolism and encourage fat loss over time.
영국의 한 전문가가 샤워할 때 마지막 30초를 찬물로 할 경우 신진대사가 촉진되고 장기적으로 지방 연소에 효과적이라는 의견을 내놨습니다.
Yeah, so apparently another way to burn more fat if you're looking to reduce your body weight. According to this professor, if you want to do that without having to go to the gym, doing intensive amounts of cardio, what you can do is at the end of your shower, turn the shower ice cold for 30 seconds. And the reason for that is because he says the body, how it responds to sudden cold exposure. When that cold water hits you, your body has to work harder to keep you warm. So that activates something, what he calls is brown fat. And that's a type of fat that burns calories to generate heat. And I imagine that's your body's sort of natural way to protect itself. If it gets cold, you need to increase the heat in your internal body temperature, I suppose. So this brown fat is a type of fat that burns calories to generate that heat and can lead to increased energy expenditure.
It's a really simple method of, I guess, losing weight.
I wonder how effective it is compared to running on a treadmill, though. Yeah.
Maybe not quite as effective, but still, in the long run, they say it helps.
I think that's the key. I was going to say the last part of that headline says it encourages fat loss over time. So it doesn't mean if you just do it once this morning and
lose
jump
weight.
on a scale and to see how much weight I've lost. That probably doesn't work like that. Right?
Exactly. So over time, over a long period, you may see your weight go down a little bit, but you know, you have to do it consistently.
Yeah. And there are other factors to weight loss, which we've talked about
of course.
ad nauseum here, right?
Yeah, definitely. And sleep is another one of them.
Yes.
You know.
As we repeat.
I can't stress enough how important sleep is. Okay, to boost metabolism. Let's look at that.
Yeah, so metabolism, of course, is the chemical reactions in your body that changes food into energy, right? Oftentimes, just in normal parlance, we say if you have a high metabolism, you eat something, you digest it very well, right? But that's what metabolism, and if you boost it, that means you're increasing or raising it.
Yeah, I think as you age, your metabolism slows down.
Slows
doesn't
down,
it?
I think. And that's why you eat less too, because it's harder to digest or process that food into energy.
And the weight just doesn't seem to go away as easily.
Yeah, and we also chalk it up. People who tend to gain weight a little easier or quicker than other people, you would say that you have slower metabolism because you're not processing that food as fast.
Exactly. Because I used to be the kind of person in my 20s where I would gain weight easily, but also lose weight very easily.
Okay.
And now I only gain weight easily.
Well, yeah, of course. You know, and likewise myself. But I remember back in high school, I would eat a whole pizza. All by myself before dinner, and I would still maintain my body weight.
Yeah, you
and
can
of
shed
course,
those pounds easily when you're younger. Yeah,
because at that age, you know, your metabolism is so high.
Exactly.
You're very active. You're always moving. So it's a whole different game there.
그러게요. 신진대사가 이렇게 굉장히 활발할 때는 뭐 굉장히 많이 먹어도 또 운동 조금만 하면 살이 쫙 빠지고 그러기도 했었던 기억이 나네요. Metabolism, 신진대사. 그래서 그것을 활성화하는 것을 boosting metabolism이라고 하고 신진대사가 굉장히 이제 활발할 때는 high metabolism이 있다. 그리고 이제 그게 좀 너무 느려졌을 때는 slow metabolism or low?
Both, I think. Yeah.
Okay. slow도 되고 low도 될 것 같아요. 자, metabolism이었습니다. metabolism. Now, what about to encourage?
Yeah, so normally encourage would mean to support or, you know, help someone, give them confidence.
Yeah.
But here in this case, you're not really encouraging or you're not helping or supporting fat loss. What it is you are helping, but you're helping stimulate or develop. You're boosting or bolstering it, right? So it's a little different meaning in encourage, but in this case, that's what it means.
자, 무언가를 부추긴다라는 의미가 될 수도 있고 조장한다라는 의미가 될 수도 있고요. 결국은 어떻게 잘 하게 한다라는 의미가 있는 거죠. You can encourage a student to do well. You say, you can do it.
Yes.
Don't worry. You'll be fine with this exam. 이렇게 힘을 북돋울 때도 encouraging a student.
Yep.
In this case, fat loss over time. 시간이 지났을 때 체중이 감량되는 것을 그런 효과를 낸다. 이런 의미로 taking a cold shower for 30 seconds at the end of your shower can encourage that.
Exactly. So it's a little slightly different meaning.
It is, yeah, slightly different. 자, 다시 한번 제가 읽어보겠습니다. An expert in the UK has suggested that turning the shower cold for 30 seconds at the end of showers can boost metabolism and encourage fat loss over time. Now, onto the story a lot of our listeners have been very curious about. Right from the start, when we gave out the headlines, a lot of people said, what? A duck? A duck? Okay, what is this story?
Well, a duck has been caught speeding at 52 kilometers per hour in a 30-kilometer zone by traffic cameras in a Swiss town, with local police suggesting it may be a repeat offender, as a similar-looking duck was recorded in the same spot at the same speed on the same date in 2018.
스위스의 한 마을 도로의 제한 속도 30km 구역에서 시속 52km 속도로 비행하는 오리가 과속 카메라에 포착됐습니다. 현지 경찰은 비슷하게 생긴 오리가 지난 2018년 공교롭게도 같은 날, 같은 속도로, 같은 지점에서 적발됐던 사실을 언급하면서 이 오리가 상습범일 가능성에 주목했습니다.
Yeah, so police thought this was a joke at first, an April Fool's joke, when they saw this duck. Again, the coincidence is uncanny, right? It's a very curious coincidence, 7 years apart.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've seen a picture of the duck
I have,
caught
yeah.
on this speeding camera, but he looks guilty. He or she
yeah.
looks guilty as charged. I don't know if you've ever gotten a speeding ticket here in Korea before with
Fortunately,
the
I have,
cameras, you know, and you get
Yeah.
that grainy sort of black and white image of yourself in the mail, and you have nothing to say but pay the fine. But I don't know how they're going to track this duck down to collect their fine. But
Yeah.
it is a sort of a humorous way to look at this, you know, because of course speeding is dangerous as it is. But
Sure.
the fact that it was at the same time and place, and it looks like the same duck as well, maybe goes to show these birds, when they migrate or when they move, they use the same path, perhaps? Who
Maybe,
knows?
yeah, exactly. The image that was captured by this camera makes the duck look like an eagle. You know,
Yeah.
the wings spread out. It must have been flying very fast, obviously.
Who knew ducks look so majestic in flight, right?
Exactly. All right. So this particular duck may be a repeat offender.
Yeah, so a repeat offender is someone who commits usually an illegal act, right? And if you repeat that, you're doing that more than once.
Right.
So you're repeating that. And it's similar to a term called recidivism.
Yes.
Recidivim, and that's used in the criminal justice system
Yep.
a lot when you describe someone who has a tendency to relapse and go back into criminal behavior after serving their penalty, right?
And you want to prevent that as much as possible. And a lot of different programs
Right.
are made specifically aimed at lowering recidivism
Rates. Right.
among criminals.
Exactly.
Yeah. 그래요. recidivism이라는 건 좀 어려운 단어이긴 한데 이거는 뭐냐면은 범죄를 다시 하게 되는 걸 말합니다. 그래서 이런 것들을 줄이기 위해 이제 어떤 범죄로 인해서 뭐 구속이 된다든지 아니면 처벌을 받고 여러 가지 뭐 재활 프로그램에 들어갔을 때 다시는 그것을 못하게끔 한다라는 걸 영어로는 they try to prevent recidivism
Yeah,
or,
it's a hard
or
one.
lower the recidivism rates.
Right, exactly. And that's a lot of prison systems will look at that recidivism rate to see how people are rehabilitated and whether they can adjust back into living in society after serving usually prison terms.
맞아요. 그래서 이런 재범 아니면 상습적으로 어떤 범행을 저지르는 것을 recidivism, recidivism I가 굉장히 많이 들어가네요. 이렇게 표현하는데 지금 그 얘기를 왜 하셨냐면 repeat offender라는 단어 때문입니다. 그게 바로 상습범이라는 표현이에요. 그래서 관련된 단어로 외우시면 되겠고 repeat는 우리가 잘 알고 있죠? repeat, 다시 하다. offender가 범인이에요. 그러니까 상습범, repeat offender. What about similar looking? Similar looking duck.
Yeah, this one's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
It's an adjective if you want to combine the two, where two things look like each other in some way or another. Their characteristics or their features, they resemble each other, like twins.
그렇습니다. 그래서 비슷하게 생긴 a similar looking duck, a similar looking person 이렇게 표현을 할 수 있겠고요. 자, 그다음에 시속 몇 킬로미터는 영어로 이제 킬로미터하고 slash 그다음에 h 이렇게 써 있는데 읽을 때는 kilometers per hour 이렇게 보통 얘기를 하죠. 그러니까 사실 우리는 그냥 그냥 제한 속도 30km 이렇게만 해도 다 이해를 해요. 이게 시속 30km라는 거를 알죠. 시속이란 단어를 안 써도. 근데 영어에서는 speeding at 그냥 52 kilometers 하면은 안 돼요. 그 per hour가 반드시 들어가야 됩니다. 영어에서는 너무 이상하게 들리니까 요거는 기억해 주시면 되고. You could say kilometers an hour if you want, but normally we say per hour, P-E-R. All right, well, here's the headline again. A duck has been caught speeding at 52 kilometers per hour in a 30-kilometer zone by traffic cameras in a Swiss town, with local police suggesting it may be a repeat offender. As a similar-looking duck was recorded in the same spot, at the same speed, on the same date in 2018. All right, well, that's it for the headlines this morning.